think you know what makes your cannabis top shelf? Today, we're diving into what really separates connoisseur quality plants from the rest. So whether you're judging or competing, you'll know what to look out for. But before we do,
you better become a DGC Growers Cup 2025. Bring the dank. Vending, clones, seeds, mushrooms, maybe all kinds of stuff, tattoos. It's going to be a party June 7th for Million Hill, Longmont, Colorado, 50 plus strains, all you can toke all day. Help us pick the winner. Go to dgccup.com and bring the dank. Back to the hang.
All right, we wanted to dive into this because we're doing our own event, dgccup.com, and talk about what really makes connoisseur cannabis, what to look out for, what you're doing, judging or competing, or just, there's a lot of factors that go into it.
I tell you what, connoisseur cannabis is not, and it's not all about just the THC number. I mean, in the dispensary, honestly, in dispensaries in Colorado, it'll have the THC number, but right next to it, it'll have a terpene number as well, terpene percentage. Grambo, have you seen that?
Oh, of course. Yeah. It's one of the things. But then you'll see things like 35% THC and you go, I don't know.
Yeah. How you do that?
Testing can be a little skewed, we'll say.
That's crazy.
The basic, do you guys have a low number? I mean, if it's 5%, 7% THC, or like that?
Great weed is 60.
Can I be honest? THC. If I do go to the dispensary, sometimes I buy the lowest percent THC because it's got to be there for a reason. If it's low, if doesn't have the numbers, it must be dank.
I mean, there's great weed at 16 and 18% THC. It's all about the terpenes, man.
Yes, I agree with that. All right, what else are we looking for? Connoisseur cannabis, a smooth burn, clean ash, proper flush and cure. These are all terminologies that have a lot behind them.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're a connoisseur, it's not just about growing it right. It's about drying and curing it right. I mean, no. I mean, you can have really good weed that's not properly dried or dried in 5 days and it tastes like crap.
100%. Cure is super important. That is after the dry. And yes, everything can be ruined if not done properly. Don't be scared. There's plenty of info out there during that period after you do the chop and hang them up. And the cure is where I like to picture it. The stank is getting on the stank. It's in its bag. It's already dried. You're not opening that bag. It's just sitting in its own stank, getting danker.
No,
that's how I envision the cure.
The cure, the science of it is letting the chlorophyll break down. We talked about it being mostly hydrogen it's hydrogen and carbon, right? Mm-hmm. And you're slowly letting that's why you don't dry it till it's crispy dry. You dry it just till it still has some metabolic.
Yeah, there's microbes in there, and that's why we burp it, because they're aerobic microbes. So they need oxygen to live. So we burp it, let them get a little oxygen, and it helps them do their job.
And if you don't allow the bud to do that because you dried it too fast and it doesn't have any moisture left, you don't get that connoisseur quality, man.
The microbes go dormant.
All right, man. All right.
Let's talk about the competition, man, because they have had things like, the Cannabis Cup, or the High Times Cannabis Cup, the bigger events, where I've seen basically part of the equation is scoring, focusing on THC percentages, which I don't know how to properly get that done. I think it's a little bit expensive as far as putting it in the lab. Go ahead.
It's just shady, too. I mean, it's shady. That all these labs, I don't think they've got, put it this way, they want the business. So if you're like, I go to that lab because they test the highest. I don't know what's up with their spectrometer, but they test the highest.
That's true.
Think about if you run a lab, you're going to test the highest.
Yeah. And there's a lot of different ways I see as far as different, like the DGC Cup is a throwdown. It's one day, man. You got to go around with your voting tokens. It keeps it real simple. It's also a party. But other type of cups or competitions let people stay with the flower for a week. I mean, this is obviously harder structure. I could see. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just clearing my throat. I don't normally smoke first, but I don't know if you can tell, I smoked.
Where you get to, that's the only way you can truly judge on effects is if you have time with that flower. I would need at least a day. Wake up with a clear endocannabinoid system. I have the day with that flower for it to be able to be judged on effects of a strain. But then in the end, isn't everybody's endocannabinoid system different towards hard? One strain affects somebody different than the other. So should effects even be in the category for judging?
I don't know. It depends. Is it a real competition? Because, I mean, it's, of course, a competition. But are we really judging the complete plant? Because if so, we certainly effect is what you use it for. So I'm sure there's some of those 18% THC plants, some kind of Thai stick or something where you're like, oh, my God, it's so uplifting. I love it. So buzz should be a part of it, but you can't really judge 50 or 70 different strains of the buzz on each one of them. It would take you 70 days.
Again, and like you say, hey, the DGC Cup's not a competition, it's a cooperation. But then at that point, here's how I judge. If I'm going to go around, I've seen people get as nitty gritty as having a notebook and making notes on each strain. Because if you're trying to try them all or go around, I'm going to really judge on look, and I'm biased on look because I love purple strains. I've seen like strains that are like almost black in color before. I'm like, that's pretty cool. It doesn't mean the flower is any better than any of the others. And then also not THC, dear God, look, it's got me. The trichomes. If I'm able to handle the bud and look at trichomes with the scope, that is fun to do. So, man, and smell. It's got to smell some pretty good dank, but that doesn't mean if it smells really dank, again, it has better effects than the one that doesn't smell that much. So smell, looks, trichomes, if I can look at them, that's what I'm judging on.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you look for in a trichome, Scotty?
Bulbous, man. They got to be bulbous. Thank you very much.
Bro, you can see, though, if weed has been mishandled, that it can be pretty damaged. You can put your scope down into like a push down damaged forest of trichomes. So if you're going that deep, check it out. And you want to go to the DGC Cup, go to DGCcup.com, guys. Over 50 strains. Everybody can try them. Everybody's a judge. Pick a winner at the end of the day. Top 3 go to Vegas. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's a great event.
And we were
over and hang out.
Yep. We've had years working on it, and the Ferris system we came up with was it's blind judging. It's just everybody has a jar. You can you take a look at the jar, look at the weed inside there, say, let me try that one. Everybody gets their own one-y, and you get 5 tokens, and you vote for whoever you want. Want to put them all 5 in, one jar? Sure. You want to, whatever. Hopefully you don't do that. But yeah, that's about the fairest that we could figure.
Yeah, I like it. And the way to get it done in a day. I can't picture the logistics for a long term hanging out with the weed. Hey, that's just our opinion, man. Give us some comments. Let us know if you've been to a cannabis competition, how it went, or some tips on what we should do to improve ours. Let us know in the comments below.
Yes. Grambo, if they like this video, they should subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, smoke that subscribe button.
Yes. And then you share this video and talk about it with another grower you know.